Can We Talk podcast, episode 90. That's kind of an accomplishment, right? Like,
I know, right?
being at 90, doing something consistently 90 times is kind of something that you should celebrate. But I don't know. I'm just so excited for 100. Like, 100 is going to mean a lot
10
to
more
me.
to go.
10 more to go. And that's tough.
He'll have it done by the end of the month.
Talk louder. But I don't know. I think the next 10 have to be something that's just like out of this world.
Juicy and spicy.
Spicy for sure. Juicy maybe not. I don't know. I don't like people. I don't like y'all who comment on the videos on YouTube like really negative shit. Like that's really fucked up. Because I don't care about people's personal lives. I don't need to know people's personal lives. But that shit y'all said that's nasty.
Leave that bad energy at home with your mama.
Not at your mom's. But it's your third time on.
Third time on, and I'm on the 90th episode too.
90, you did 9. Wait, no, so I'm talking to the future and shit. Like 90, 80 what? And what's the other two 80s? It was like 81 or something?
83.
83.
And 86.
And 86.
I believe.
I
But
don't
86,
know.
I had some ops on there. So.
Whoa.
No, I'm playing.
Whoa. You gotta relax.
I'm just.
You gotta
playing.
relax. That's a tough out.
We're all jokes and funs and good vibes here. So.
No, I'll be mad serious. Glasses time, you know.
Unfortunately, I don't have my stoner shades on today like him. So you have to bear with me for the moment. They tell me my eyes speak louder than my words sometimes. So
I think last episode with Kwana, like she's one of my favorite like guests to have on. Like she's from Mississippi. She moved down here on a whim. Like not with a dude or anything like that. She moved. These are getting foggy as hell. I don't know if I can do. It's hot, guys. It's hot as fuck. And I'm sweating. But she moved down here on a whim. Whim. She moved down here because she has a cousin that lives down here. And we connected through the podcast. So I literally met her because of the podcast. And she's freaking fantastic. You guys have to go watch that episode. It's fucking hilarious. And it's so truthful. I actually tell too many truths.
episode 89.
89. I actually got in trouble for some of the truths that
Episode is out right now.
that I said in that episode. But
Oh my! You got in trouble.
yeah, I don't talk about my personal life on the book.
I didn't know he gets in trouble, you guys. Whew.
I get in trouble sometimes, guys.
Did you get a timeout or did you get like a spanking? Both of them.
Cut. No, just playing. I got a stern talking to. But I also got some feedback about the last episode too that I didn't have enough energy. People don't really understand what it really looks like to do this podcast consistently. Like I work from home and this is also in my home. So you can only imagine what it would feel like if you worked and had to sit in a spot in your own home for 9 hours or 8 hours, including a lunch or whatever, and you not leave. And then you turn around and then you have to record a podcast like an hour or two later after getting off work.
Alexa, play Trapped in the Closet. That's what it sounds like.
I'm trapped in a closet, not the closet that other
trapped in
people
the
are
house.
trapped in. Yeah. Just imagine how your energy would fluctuate. I had to start taking like drinking energy drinks towards the end of my day to record after work versus taking energy drinks to fucking record. I'm taking energy drinks in the morning to get up. I wait until midday to take my energy drink or my coffee or whatever to be ready for the pod. So sorry if the energy wasn't there. It might not be here either. I don't fucking know. I'm tired. I'm tired as fuck. I'm always tired, but we're at episode 90, so I must be doing something right.
And it's lit. I thought my head was all discombobulated. I think it's his.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Or it might be the heat.
It's the heat too, man. Like my brother is moving to Texas, right? From California. He's lived in California for 18 years at this point.
Are you excited?
He's moving to Killeen.
It's not too far.
It's not too far, but it's not close enough. But I get to see my nephew more than I normally would. But the crazy thing is, like, my thought process right now is like I'm planning to move from here.
You only have one nephew?
Mm-hmm.
How old is he?
I think he's 2, 1.5 at this point. I only have one brother.
I mean, yeah. But
He just had his first kid. Well, I technically have 2 because he's married to someone who. I technically have a niece and a nephew. He married someone that had a child when they met. So that's my niece, technically, and then my nephew.
I mean, it's like a 30, 45-minute drive, in all honesty.
Yeah.
You can meet halfway in
But it's
Round
well, halfway would be like him. He'll be at my parents' place often. Like, my parents live in Hutto.
It's not too far.
Yeah, so
See, more family time, more bonding, more
I think I would
experiences.
like to hang out with my nephew for like a day. Like,
You should get him for a weekend.
yeah, no, like that's
pushing it.
a day, like a day, like not 24 hours days. Like people say a day is like maybe like a work day.
It can give you a thought of an idea of like what it's like to have your own child.
No, because I don't want to hang around a child that's not like 2 or 3 already. Like, I don't want a newborn. The first, okay, well, this is going way off more track of like what the pod was supposed to be. But like, I can attest and I can talk about that. But like, I don't know. I have 2 godchildren too. Little Sonny and Remy. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Tori. Not Remy. I am messing up your children's names, Tori. I am so sorry. Sonny.
Blame the heat. Blame the heat.
Sonny was the first newborn I ever held. And I was like, oh, this is tough. Because my hands are big as hell. And she's just like itty bitty. Like, I was like, nope, have it. It's back to yours. It's too much responsibility. And that was when I was about like 24 years old, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now they're older and stuff.
Yeah. They're the realest. Remy's a Virgo. We got to have a conversation.
So he got in trouble the last podcast. So I'm guessing
I didn't get in trouble.
she likes you unfriendly.
Yeah, I mean, but no, because
The question is do you like yours unfriendly?
Mm-hmm. Like, do I like women? Do I like women who are cool with dudes? Is what I break that down to.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. Like,
but if you're out in public, you know, like,
I still don't give a fuck because, like, I know a lot of people. Like, imagine if you were dating, just like not me directly, but like a person like me. Like, imagine if your guy has a podcast and also cooks, and it's hundreds of women that he does that for. That would maybe bother you.
So, no, like in real life, I used to think that. I used to think that way. Honestly, I used to think like, no, like you can't be friendly, or you can't talk, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. And then like I had to honestly change my mindset, because it's like, hey, if you get married to this person, who are they going to invite to the wedding if you don't have friends? So I think it's certain boundaries that people can have outside of that, but to say that you like them unfriendly to everyone but yourself, I would just say no. Now, if you're flirting, that's a different story. If you are all in a person's face, you know when a person likes you, so it's different.
I mean, I think men know that
naturally
less than women know it, because like I've been in a relationship where I got paid to go cook at a lingerie party.
Yeah, but were they flirting with you there?
I mean, according to the person I was with at the time, everyone who says hi to me is flirting with me. So like, there's a level of comfortability you have to have with our connection that allows you to be happy in our situation.
Or a level of confidence too.
Confidence and being comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, like it's all about self. In all honesty, it's about self-awareness and self-esteem.
Yeah, and then this is something that I always like hammer on to anyone I'm dealing with. I'm like, hey, if you are the type of person who's going to be angry at me for being around a lot of women, I'm not for you.
Yeah.
Like, it just won't work because I've seen it too many times to where, like, yes, I'm going to podcast, and yes, my podcast is majority black women who are my
Gotta throw
guests.
that out there.
That's
Black women.
majority black women, you know?
Yeah.
And yes, yes, that person will come to my place or wherever I'm staying. And yes, that person will sit down and talk to me. And yes, I will explain to them things about my personal life, about me that exist. Like, I've had a past before you, so I can speak to different kind of
Right.
like conversations. So it's not like I'm talking about our thing. Just know I've done these things too.
I'm learning that now, though. I won't lie to you. I'm learning, like, the past is the past. You know, you can't throw them all down the volcano, you know, and burn them, you know.
I'm a huge advocate of like finding some kind of even relationship ground with exes, not in the sense of like friends. Like, I'm not calling you up on Wednesdays or Thursdays like, hey, let's hang out. Like, some kind of ground to where like we can still communicate the problems that we had in our relationship. If they weren't abusive, like when I say that, I don't mean abuse. I don't mean like anything that was super toxic. That stuff is for the birds.
Toxic.
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. I love me some toxicity.
But why is that?
No, keeps it going.
See, you like the added extra stuff. Like, that's extra.
And so I've been told. Somebody had told me they was like you have to always be extra. You have to do the most.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
That's a like
I
for
don't
me
know.
personally. Like, I like chaos though. Like, I like the
you like
uneven
toxic?
ground.
oh,
Like, I like
block
the
you, unblock you.
No, that's too much. Like, but I like the uncertainty of certain things. Like, I like if I'm consistent for 10 years, like I like the curveball thrown in there. Like, let me see how I react to that shit.
Oh yeah, but don't pop up at your house though. That's one thing. Do not pop up at his house.
You can't do that. Like, like even if you were to knock on my door and I didn't expect you, I wouldn't open the door. Like,
But that's toxic.
on that person.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. That doesn't happen. That's never happened to me.
but toxic can be in certain ways and stuff. So
Toxic is a lot of the word toxic really just means providing something to somebody that is not in their best interest or best health. That's what toxic means. So if I'm just this dude who just like is an asshole to everybody, fuck bitches, get money, and you know this about me, and you come to me to get super like house Negro vibes, like I want to fucking build a family, and you thinking that's me, that's you being toxic. You're literally
or delusional.
Delusional is a great word to describe a lot of people in this generation. But delusional means that you're seeing it and you're not making sense of it. Delusional means you see it. A lot of people don't see this shit.
Okay, so like when you have a whole bunch of red flags that you just constantly ignore, that's delusional.
No. Red flag. I don't know where the fuck this podcast is going, but this is going to be
We're transferring into all of our subjects here.
a red
see?
flag tutorial. And I don't like that you're doing this to me. You are transitioning too well for me right now.
I thought my head wasn't in the game, you guys. I'm up over here in trust me, Cal knows.
You are doing too well. You gotta chill out.
I didn't know I was gonna be ready or prepared, you guys, and I had to get my head in the game, and I'm so proud of myself because
You're kicking Cal's ass.
whew, and my head is just thinking about something else. So hey,
It is overall conversations that should be had. Like, I think I was talking to somebody. Someone had, you know what's funny? Like, when you called that morning, someone had also called me the night before on some completely separate shit. Like, not a person that's involved in what you called me for, but they called me and spoke to me for an hour and a half about like some super toxic shit they're in. Like, shout out to you. You know who you are. And all I did was tell them what I would do in the situation. Like, as the guy version of them. Like, I guess I can't explain it that way, but like,
If you were placed in that situation.
if I was the guy in their situation,
Right.
what I would do. And they were like, that's exactly what he's doing. And I was like, sounds like you're toxic as fuck and you don't know how to get out of it.
Right. He's toxic. Cal's toxic, you guys.
It sounds like you know exactly what's the fuck is going on and you're not
And that's
making
the
the
problem.
decision.
We all know exactly in the back of our head what to do, but we just choose not to do it.
Is it a fear of like not being able to replace that person?
No, I think it's a part of comfort, being comfortable and not wanting to. I mean, I don't want to transfer, different subjects and stuff, but we all
right,
want
Superwoman.
someone. No, literally. We all want someone at the end of the day. Like, we all want to be loved. We all want to be cared for. We all want to be shown affection. And so it's like, once you find someone and you get comfortable with them. And so sometimes, I mean, people go their separate ways, or sometimes people can lose those feelings. I mean, I feel like there's someone for everyone out in the world. I look at some couples today and I'm just like, how'd you get him? How'd you get her? How, I don't know. But that's not for me to know, because there's someone for someone at the end of the day. No one, I feel, should be in this world alone. I had met this woman the other day, and she said that she was married and her husband had died in the war. And I asked her, I was like, well, have you ever remarried? And she says, no, my husband was the love of my life. She said, who's going to want a 50-year-old woman now? And I was like, I looked at her, I was like, you'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised. What
if she fine enough.
Them cougars.
That's a grand cougar. You know, like the boss in like Mario Kart, like Bowser. Like that's the up there mountain.
Oh.
Because they got money and they established.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. It sounds like he knows a few things about that, you guys. That's a different.
I don't think I know about it just yet, but like when I think about like the older women I dealt with when I was younger, they're in their 50s and they're late 40s right now.
Oh, so you were like 20 dating 50-year-olds?
No, I was maybe 20, 21 dealing with like 38, 39-year-olds. I'm 30 now, so
So now he's shooting for like 50,
I'm not shooting for them. I'm just saying like the cougars that I dealt with when I was younger are that age now. And they're still friends of me on Facebook. So shout out to y'all.
Don't say too much. I don't want you to get in trouble.
I mean,
the past is
they can't spin the block. No. You're in your prime at your 38. 38, 39, that's your prime.
Yeah. I mean, I feel I'm in my prime.
Yeah, I don't know. You think so?
And so anyway, back to the topic of the conversation. Since Cal knows how to cook, do you think just because you know how to cook, it can cancel out 3 red flags, or no?
I don't know why people sent me that. I don't know why people tagged me in that. I don't know if I'm red.
Oh, they
red
tagged
flag.
you?
So let me be honest with people, right? Like on a daily basis, for me personally, there's literally about 20, 15 to maybe 30 tags I get every fucking day on social media. And majority of them are food. Other of them are podcast topics that they think we should cover. And then the third of them is people asking about wanting to start a podcast or can someone cater an event. I'm always tagged in those across Austin. Like if you ever like actually look into those posts that are out there, at least 1 or 2 people tag me in them, especially the podcast stuff. Like I've been doing this for a long time. A lot of people rubbed me the wrong way way before I did this. So now when I'm tagged in they shit, they look right over it. But I get a lot of tags for sure. A lot.
Back to the question.
I don't know. I sent it to you because I don't know.
I mean, you told me that they're like cooking is a skill.
I mean, it is a skill.
What if you have poor communication? What if you have bad hygiene? What if you don't know how to dress, but you know how to cook?
I mean, it's the same thing for women. Like, women can make you a fucking fried chicken dinner, and a dude who only knows fried chicken dinners is like, oh yeah, you the one. It's the same concept, but
Now she has a bad attitude. She doesn't take care of herself.
people give dudes too much credit for knowing things a lot of times. Like,
I don't.
you don't?
No.
Okay. A lot of people do though. Like, so the ideal for a lot of men, right, who don't maybe have the structure that is necessary to sustain a nice legal life, like a nice legal life.
Legal life.
You know what I mean? Like, there is a lot of factors that are part of that, but like, dudes usually want two things: a fat ass and someone who can cook. It's usually the two things dudes want.
They want great sex and someone who knows how to cook. Just because you have a fat ass doesn't mean anything.
I'm telling you what dudes want. Like, the ass is the goal. When they get in the ass is a whole different story.
No, I'm gonna have to disagree. The only reason why I would disagree is because I've had like a lot of male cousins. Mm-hmm. I've had homeboys and stuff, and like we've had this topic on like some people would choose ass over titties. Mm-hmm. Now the first thing that like one person had said was like, a lot of times if you see someone that like they might have a nice butt to them, mm-hmm. their face is ugly.
Oh,
like,
you talking to family members, not niggas.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking to family members and homeboys. Like I can call like 3 homeboys up right now, and I can ask them like, "What you choosing, ass or titties?" I can guarantee you, like 2 of them might say ass, but one for sure is gonna be like, "I'm gonna look at some titties."
And then what? What's the conversation
because
afterwards?
Would you want someone with a little boy chest?
I'm not a titties guy. I'm an
ass
guy.
Exactly. So that's your opinion. We should do
I'm just an ass guy, but like I know most niggas is not titty guys, but everyone's a titty guy because we like dudes who like women like to suck on titties, small, big, over big, whatever,
flat
fake,
chest,
whatever. Like, niggas like to suck titties. Like, that's just a fact across the board.
They also like to do other things too, but we're not gonna get into that topic of conversation neither. So yeah,
red flags are something that, like, I promise you, like, if I have red flags, no one's brought them up to me directly. If I have them, I don't know.
So what if a woman has red flags and she knows how to cook?
I don't care if a woman can cook or not. That's not
the question.
But that's not something I would personally care about. So that question can't be asked to me. I don't give a fuck if you can cook or not.
Because he knows how to cook and he's gonna handle the house and home, ladies.
Not even that. Why. Like I like people who have watched the pod for as long as they have, who've actually seen my first, like, I did a food tutorial video where I cooked a meal from scratch to end. Like, it got hundreds of thousands of views. Like, it's on my Chef Cal page. If y'all check that out, go check it out. It's there. But you have to scroll for a very, very, very,
Make sure you
very
like
long
and subscribe
time.
And comment and share.
And like, I like teaching people. I did cooking classes for years early on. Like, I'd like to cook.
I remember you telling me that.
Like, I was a cooking instructor. Like, I also was like a soccer coach. Like, my patience is very abundant. I don't have a thin patience.
So do you feel like, okay, so with that being said, do you feel like people are like intimidated by you? Or
yes.
do you feel like they say like, hey Cal, we inspire you? Like,
no, I think
inspire me to.
There's 100%, and I know what you're doing, and I hate you for it. Stop being so fucking good at this. But no, yeah, there's a level of intimidation dealing with me. Like, for someone to cook for me it's hard for people. Like, it's extremely hard. Like, because like I don't really eat what a lot of people eat. Like, I like Asian cuisine. Like, I like a lot of things that just aren't prevalent in our personal, like.
He doesn't like that basic chicken Alfredo. He does not want spaghetti, ma'am, and he does not want your fried chicken wings.
And that's not to say that I don't eat that stuff, because I do. Like, I know
he wants a spring roll.
My favorite. I don't like spring rolls, but like my favorite like meals are the comfort meals like that, right? But like I don't want comfort meal every day. Like,
Yeah, that's
I'm
high
cool
blood
with spaghetti.
pressure.
I'm cool with some chicken Alfredo as long as it's not jarred fucking Alfredo. Like, I like fresh stuff, but like, I'm perfectly fine with that stuff. I can't do that every fucking day. If you came in and cooked me some fucking spaghetti with some canned sauce and some ground beef and spaghetti, I'm not above anybody or anything that people cook or anyone's labels as far as like financially being able to afford certain things. I'm not against that or above that. But that's people's own thought process of me. Like, because I cook at a certain level, that's their thought process of me. I never say that to people. I never say you can't do that. I just don't like when people, well, I don't actually care, but like, I let people decide who they are to me. I don't chase that. Like, I let people decide what your thought process is of me. I don't have to change it because I know who I am. Like, I know who I am personally.
Hard to impress.
I'm not hard to impress. I'm hard to.
And that's why people are probably intimidated by you.
I don't think I'm hard to impress. I think I'm just me, and it's the same. I think it's the same concept with women, like the women who have the BBLs and are shaped like ants and always have like a nigga paying for this, and that. I think it's that kind of same kind of intimidation. Like, women want easy. Men also want easy too.
But I also feel like people can be intimidated by the person that you are. Just your character, your personality, how you're able to handle certain situations. Just in my opinion, just for speaking for self, I feel like a lot of people, if you place them in a certain position, they wouldn't be able to handle the same challenges as you. And for that, instead of someone saying like, hey, you push me, you motivate me, I look up to you, they feel spiteful. They feel envious. They're like, well, how can she do that? But I'm not able to do that. How is she able to overcome this hurdle? And it took me 5 years. Hey, everyone isn't dealt the same hands at life. Even regardless of if you know how to cook, clean, have a nice shape. Some people work for their body. Other people go and buy it.
That's 100% true. Like, it's I guess the word is disdain. It's a calculated effort to not support people that you know,
especially Black people.
Yeah, especially us. It's an extra effort that our community puts on us, and it's our community in our community, because majority of the support of the podcast is not from Austin, Pflugerville, Round Rock, Cedar Parks, Killeen. It's not that. It's the people from outside of the cities who see you doing a dope thing, because they can remove their ego from going to school with you, going to fucking high school, elementary, middle school with you, and figuring out, like, why the fuck is that person so dope doing this? And I'm sitting here in the situation I am. Didn't we come from the same place?
Or I kid you not, a lot of people, they will say that like, oh, Austin is this and Austin is that. And then they get mad because they kind of contradict themselves, because they want to support you, but they can't let their pride support you. They want to like your picture or heart your picture, but they scroll right past it because they have a thing in their head like, oh, she thinks she's better than someone. Or, oh, he thinks he just all of that in a bag of chips because he knows how to cook. Oh, toxic.
No, I've actually personally dealt with that a lot. Like, when it comes to the pod, like, I asked, so if people who have watched this pod from the start, even before Brittany and Raven, and then into the Kay and Sierra versions of the pod that were way before that we don't count in this 90 episode podcast, I have connections in radio, and I asked people in radio, I asked people in production, like, hey, I want to start a podcast, and they ignored me, and now they want to be on the podcast, and it's a no.
Fuck y'all.
It's an absolute no. And there's people I asked that are just regular. I'm not regular. I'm a regular person. Like I'm not regular, but like people that I just knew growing up that I asked, and they were like, nah, we're not taking you serious. We're not doing this because you don't have this, or like,
We all have to start from somewhere. Like, for real, like, if you really think about it, if you could, don't kill me. Don't say nothing. But if you could say something to, like, your younger self, it would just be like, keep pushing. Don't let other people's opinions on how you feel about something change your goal or your plan. And I say that because I've changed a lot of my goals and my plans just because people criticized or people felt a certain type of way or people thought what was best for me. So it's like, especially when you're younger, you're just like, I still feel like you're a newborn in the world, even when you're an adult. When you go to a restaurant, you're a newborn. You've never been there before. Mm-hmm. It's fresh. It's new. This pod, 90, new. Like, for real, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree because, like, even to what I was saying about, like, people not supporting it early, like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, I had come off of a successful, like, I can't even call it a career because I don't think it's over yet, but, like, I've had a catering business before the pandemic. Like, I had a cooking class right before the pandemic, like, really hit in 2020. I had to end that. I worked 2 jobs plus the cooking stuff before the pandemic happened. Wow. Like, I was doing a lot right before the pandemic happened, and I just made the decision to, like, say fuck it. Like, I want to do this podcast. Like, I've been wanting to do a podcast since 2017. Let me put it that way.
Well, we're here now.
And it's tough. Like, people just don't realize what it takes. Like, people will see celebrities, like, and then criticize them from if they worked at fucking Dairy Queen when they were like 18.
Do you hear me?
And then, like, now they're big up, and the humble factor is only a factor if that person isn't humble. Just because you're not humble and your thought process of you were in that situation doesn't mean that person isn't.
Facts. You hear me? Because just because, you know, you walked and I ran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will see things and be like, man, if I was in that position, I would act this way. This is why I don't come on this podcast. I don't talk about celebrities. I don't talk about people on the news. I don't talk about stuff because you don't know what the fuck you would do in any of these situations.
And a lot of those people really deal with, like, a lot of mental...
There's a lot that goes in a lot of things. Like,
people, like, it's people see that outside and they think it's just like, oh, their life is all together. Oh, they're perfect. Oh, especially those people. Someone had made a comment on Ari. Why don't you just buy him a phone? It's a kid. Like, what? My son has a phone and he still leaves it at the house. Like, they're just because they're celebrities or just because they have a certain image doesn't always mean, like, hey, they're perfect or their life is put together. People can put a facade all day long, but.
Absolutely, and that's what it is. Like, when I say the words, like, people think you aren't humble because you wouldn't be humble in these scenarios and situations that these celebrities are in, doesn't really mean much. One of the main reasons I started the podcast was because I was getting my back kicked in online. like anything I'd say, I would be attacked, and I fell into, like, the trope of responding. I don't do that now. Like, I'll delete your shit. Like, if you say something wild to me, I'll delete it. And certain people, like, it annoys me when people that I actually, like, know in real life get on the shits and, like, talk crazy to me. I'm like, we just had a fucking 3-week conversation about life, and now you just don't understand where I'm coming from. Cool. That's cool. People who've been on this podcast are just like that. That's cool. I'm not the fucking debate guy. Like, I don't want to debate with anybody. I want to have a fucking conversation.
This is the Can We Talk
podcast, not the Can We fucking debate. I don't want to debate with anybody.
Go back to school if you want to be on a debate team.
Facts. And I wish people would just be
themselves.
Be who they actually are.
Be authentic.
Just be who you are. It's okay to be you. I'm me. Like, people think that, like, because I do this, like, I get offered public speaking shits all the time, so I always turn them down. I don't like fucking publicly speaking. I'm not there yet. I'm working on it, though.
Nah, fact.
I'm working on it, though, yo.
Like, I like to be the center of attention, but please don't put me in a room filled with people
That I don't know, yeah.
I'm going to be like...
Quiet as hell. I'm quiet as a church mouse.
Give me some shots. Then I might start talking. Give me like 5 shots, and then we have it.
Then we can start.
Yeah.
That's my rider.
Hey, we can get the ball jumping right then and there. But
But yeah, I wish people would be more receptive to what inspires them. Like, I personally know for a fact people have started podcasts because of me and have never given me any kind of like, damn, like, it's because of Cal, like, because of this. And I mean, that's fine. That's not something that I'm owed, but like, it would be cool if you did that. It might actually increase your podcast or maybe make it exist anymore.
Or you know what I think? Some people, like, because I was going to say some, like, just how you said that, some people, like, you might think that, but do you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, because I had, no, for real, because I've had, like, I started cooking and stuff, and, like, somebody was like, oh, she didn't want to do that until I was doing it and this and that. But I'm like,
oh, that's weird ego. I mean, I'm talking to people in real life. Like, they've told me personally, like, I'm gonna start a podcast. You made it look so natural. And so
you've
easy.
had conversation with these people?
Yeah. I'm talking about people who are literally, who've been on the podcast, have been like, wow, like, I didn't know it could be this simple. Like, you have a simple setup, but like,
hey, and that's why you gotta look, and that's why you gotta check people's energy before they come through the door, because some people, they just want to see what you have going on, how you got it set up. One of the things that I learned, like, with doing hair for so long, is that a lot of people and stylists, they'll come and they'll like see, like, oh, you know, well, why are you doing it like this? Or, well, why do you use this? Or, well, why do you? And then I get one of their clients and they're like, oh, hey, can you take? I'm like, oh, who did this? You know, I like the way, oh, so and so. And I was like, oh, okay.
No, I can see that. I just, like, if you're gonna like steal my ideals of stuff, like, be good at it. Like, give me my credit and be good at it. Like, don't do the great value version of my shit.
Oh my, the great value. He didn't even say HEB. He said great value.
And then be like, one of my superpowers is being consistent. Like, to get to 90 episodes is a stretch. Like, there's money that, although this is a simple setup, there's lights and there's my phone, which I've told people 1,000 times is what I record on, which is 4K. I spend a lot of money on this fucking phone, but like, equipment fucking breaks down. This shit's break down. I have to replace stuff. I break down. Like, I have to replace certain shit often. Like, this goddamn mixer right here is $500. It breaks down.
So what he's asking is that we're going to start a GoFundMe for in case equipment breaks down.
No GoFundMe, I got it. But
I made one. I got into that ice storm. I was so sad. My daddy had got me there. I was so sad.
But it's just like, use the inspiration to create more content for yourself. I think the internet would love it more if you did something great and you were fire at it, and then you went to go show how you got fire at it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's content for you. You can show up here with whatever cameras you have and say, this is where I started. This is the podcast that still fucking exists. And then instead of that, you guys are 5 episodes in and give up. And now your podcast doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, and I won't lie, like that's like, I used to do a lot of YouTubes. And when I got pregnant with my twins, like, I just completely stopped. Like, I stopped really a lot of stuff. And I kid you not, like, I feel like that was like the most highlighted time of my life. Like, celebrities would come down for South by, ACL. I was working with them. I was interacting with people. I had like a lot of stuff going on. And when I look back, it's like, dang, you gave up, but it's never too late. Mm-hmm. every day you can get up and push yourself to do something more, something better, and you still have opportunities. I'm like you build a connection, but you have to keep the connection. Some people, they don't know how to communicate. Other people, they don't know how to handle certain levels of situations, like where you have three, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, work, and they got the podcast and set this up, and another person that have been like, look, Francis, yeah, I'm always late, by the way. Look, Francis, you late? I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. You have to have that go in you. Some people don't have that. It's a fire in you that burns. And some people, they just want to put it out, but they can't.
Yeah, I had this exact conversation with Savon when we were in Dallas, and she had been on a couple of game shows and production things like that, and I don't know what episode it is, maybe like 71 or 70 or something like that. When we were out in Dallas, we rented an Airbnb and just knocked out a few like episodes while we were there. Shout out to that green couch. That Airbnb was super lit, super nice. It put us in the ghetto, and it was like in the transition ghetto. Like it was like we about to get the black folks up out of here, but it's like still kind of here. Like across the street's the church, and then you have like the trap house right there. But they hold on for dear life. But we did a couple episodes out there, and she was like saying the exact same thing because she comes from like TV and things like that, and she's basically saying like consistency is so key. Like because she has a podcast or had a podcast. I don't know if it's still going on. Grab the Wine with Savon. It's a fire show, but she was basically just saying like consistency is so hard, and how consistent like I've been in doing this. Like if I take a week off, people start to like message me on some weird shit.
And the bad part is it's more people that are probably rooting for you to fail, or rooting for you to, oh, he's not gonna have this, or oh, she's not gonna have that, and they're waiting for it. And so when it happens, they're just
so
like,
excited.
Yeah, I tell you.
I feel like people are waiting for the day that I post the podcast is over.
It's never over. As long as Susie has something to do with it, it's never over. Do you hear me? It's never going to end. I'm gonna always pull up.
Have you ever felt like giving up on doing hair?
Yeah, I just said that.
No, I mean like giving up like altogether. Like I'm never doing anyone's hair for profit or not.
Yeah, I mean I have like people have certain days, but that's when I had to remember. Someone told me, they were like, "You're passionate about that. Like you really, really like doing that, and if you like it, then you should stick with it and be consistent. Go like." Finish your license. Go open your salon. Start back selling hair. Hey, start reaching out, traveling to people. Like I used to travel to Dallas, Houston, Killeen. Everywhere I went, I used to keep flyers and stuff. Like now I don't give a shit about none of that shit. Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Like the old school lady at Pam would always tell me, word of mouth, word of mouth. I'm like, but we live in a new generation now where it's like technology. Have to make reels, do TikToks. It's so much stuff out here that you can be seen by someone in a different state, and they're like, "Hey, I want to fly to Austin just to be on your podcast."
That's in the works too.
So
that's a thing that's actually going to happen. I just gotta coordinate that kind of thing. Like if you're gonna fly out here, like you gotta make sure you good. Like I'm not housing the guests. I'm sorry, but. Yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand. Like I've wanted to give up podcasting like 12 times in this whole process. Like I wanted to stop.
I mean, we all want to give up. In life, it's people that want to give up. But that's why you have to be really like connected spiritually, have your faith, because nothing in life is easy. Nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream, or a dream but a sleeper, however it goes.
There's a quote that I really love, and I can't say the person who I'm quoting because I don't ever like quoting people and saying their names if I never met them before they passed. This person said, "You can either go for what you want or you can play it safe. You can't do both.
I think oftentimes a lot of people just play it safe.
Yeah.
It goes back to the whole thing with you see a red flag and you're still comfortable because you play it safe. You don't want to leave and shoot for something better. Mm-hmm. Or even in a career, like you said, you know, you had to leave. Or even with me, just with hair, like I've thought about doing like real estate. I've thought doing like a whole bunch of other things I'm not going to say because y'all probably watch it. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just things can relate in every aspect, from this pod to you out there watching right now. Go after what you want. Don't stand still. Keep going.
For sure. Like even like I can even just attest to like my life now. Like things aren't where I want them to be life wise, but I always like look at the things that I do have. Like I have a job currently. Like I have a place to live. Like I have the podcast that I can kind of like shit on people sometimes, but kind of like reel it back and be nice and respectable. But
man,
like
this man toxic.
I have a lot of stuff, and you know I don't want to ever lose sight of what it looks like to be consistent, because you know at any moment the consistency isn't my option anymore, you know, at any point. So you burp.
I know. Did y'all hear that? Excuse me. Jeez. Excuse me.
It's just it's a tough life, man. Like life is tough, and it's very important that, you know, people try to, I want to say the word, I don't know how to say it, compartmentalize. I don't know. I said compartmentalize. I don't know. I want to say the word, guys. I just can't say it. And I'm from the South, guys. I don't know. But yeah, it's tough. Life is tough. Like it is, like the journey of it is also fun. Even though you like toxic, like you like the journey toxic, it's cool. But life is tough for sure, to kind of like figure out what's next. And also being able to sustain things is also difficult. A lot of times I think that like we see celebrities who have been in like 3 billion movies and like, damn, they're able to sustain this lifestyle. Yeah, they've been in 3 billion movies.
No, I kid you. Look, I kid you not. When I was doing the background work, one of the main actors on there.
Can you talk about your fucking like being on TV work? Like, can you just talk about that? Once you're done explaining what you are saying, is like, are there NDAs?
No, I just do background work. You can honestly go. I use My Casting File. It's a free website if you want to pay for it. They have it all over. Submit your photos, submit your castings, and they pay you. But yeah, my most recent thing, I was doing background work for The Walker. It's on the CW. I was in the season finale for The Wedding. And I call him Jason still, but he's from the game. And I kid you not, like, once the cameras were rolling, he was perfectly fine. But once they stopped rolling, his back was hurting. And it was crazy to see, like, I'm like, dang, like, how long did they take to practice, like, that? Like, how long did, and they're just saying it like we're just regularly talking. Like, no scripts, no anything. They're just talking. I'm like, how many hours does it take you? Like, I know you have to stay up all night for this one scene just to repeat these words. And then it's tiring because they're cut, rehearse, cut, go back, cut. I'm like, I know if I'm tired. And then you have to adapt to certain conditions. The main actor, it was really hot. They're blowing these fans that it was freezing. You probably would have loved it.
Facts.
It was freezing in there. He walked around with the fan around his neck. And I was just like, oh my goodness. I was like, as soon as they said action, they take it off from him and this and I was like, I know this is some hard work. It has to be hard work.
No, like a lot of that's, and that's the difference between like a profession and a hobby. Hobbies get you paid, professions get you paid as well. Like A TikToker, like their day is not that. They'll explain it to you just like you explain that actor's life, but like it's not that. But everyone at the same point in time is like an equal person. They're just people, right? Even like radio work, like I've been behind the scenes. I've been on radio 2 times only, and it looks massive, and it's like 20 people in a fucking room with like 3 mics, hot as hell in there, and people have to keep their composure. Music's coming on. You have to like not be able to like not sing to the songs or anything like just be in there. And radio looks so nice from the outside looking in. It's not nice. It's rugged. It's long hours. Like sometimes the radio people that I'm in tune with, like it's morning radio, so they have to be at work like by 5 a.m.
Say early, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had wanted to work at a radio station, and then they had told me the hours, and I was like, who's gonna take my kids to school? What? No.
And then they have interns. They have even nighttime radio. You're talking about your shift starts at 11.
Yeah.
It don't end until the next shift, which is 6 a.m.
And then if you fall asleep, it's just gonna keep the commercial on for longer, and then you wake up and you realize that these people just been listening to the same commercial for like 20 minutes.
And you're not even trying to be compelling that late at night. Like you're literally just going off the scripts and playing the music because people drive cars that like that's what your purpose is as being in radio, and then being
to
early
keep them
radio.
Up. I hate when people keep playing the same. Like you can listen to one song and then 5 minutes later it's the same song again.
Oh, it's a rotation. That's how songs make their push for money is radio spins. So it's not really the most beautiful place to look at. I can only imagine what a set looks like. Like I'm sure y'all had snacks.
Yes, they fed us wonderful food there. I will not lie. Legacy Casting will pay very good money for their food and their background actors. And although I didn't like the regular main actors, they got fed like a little bit better. But I mean, that's understandable.
I'm sure that's okay. I'm sure that's in the budget.
Yeah, but still the food, it was on day 1 and 2, it was like, oh. But it was good. Like they had people came out, catered the food, they cooked there. I don't know, like it's a different lifestyle. Like if that's something that you truly want to do, you have to be dedicated to it.
Yeah, give it
and
all.
Once you're dedicated and you get locked in with directors and like production, then they'll contact you directly and they'll like always want to bring you back. I kid you not, like it's 2 people I know. One drove from Dallas. The other one flew in from, I think it was Colorado or Kansas. It was Kansas. And I was like, you what? And he said, yeah, I flew in here to be on time, but I'm driving back. I was like.
Shout out to my guy, Sab. Like, Sabino, he's one of the most hardworking like people in the business that I know. Like I used to work at Apple back in the day, and he was my boss. We had him on the podcast, and he just made a random TikTok, like he's like 30 plus, like he's an older guy, might be 40 at this point. Sorry if I'm lying, Sab, but like he made a random TikTok for the Batman movie that came out, like it's not an old movie, but like the one with.
It's getting hot in here.
All right, we're gonna close out the episode. There was another technical difficulty moment in the process. It's hot in Texas, guys. If you're moving here, be prepared. I know I have long sleeves on, a shirt and pants on, but it's. I'm taking the shit off as soon as I gotta go outside.
I told them next time just have boxers on.
I think I might pod half naked for the 100th episode.
We might do a
pajama party.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I almost said lingerie.
That would be nuts.
lingerie pod.
That would be nuts.
Spicy episode.
We need a spicy episode. It's been a while since we had one. But I know the clip cut off with Sab, and I know Sab watches the pod and he has his own pod now, but shout out to him. Like,
yeah, nice commercial too.
I showed her the commercial. Like he posted his TikTok, 30 seconds, Little Caesars picked him up for a commercial, flew him out there, fed him for 3 days, filmed with him, gave him clothes.
And that's another thing I was gonna say. A lot of people, they try and talk bad about Skechers and everything else, but you see Hit Kid, he wears Skechers, and now Skechers is blowing up and stuff now. So,
Hey, I tried to work at Skechers when I was younger. They didn't hire me. Fuck them.
all right.
Basically, the moral of the story is like, be consistent, continue to work on things that aren't yielding results for you early. Because I think a lot of times people start things and it doesn't work for them early, so they think it's not right for them. A lot of people who are very successful in their lives right now started something that was not very successful for them in the beginning. And as the industry grows, as things grow and opportunities grow, you'll be in a position if you can consistent. Like, there's been interviews and things like that, like people have asked me to conduct, but I wasn't ready at that time. Like, I didn't feel like I was at this level yet, but best believe once we get past 100, it's going to be a lot of things that are going to change, and I'm ready for sure.
Stay down till you come up.
Facts. Was there anything else? I'd hate to make this a fucking 5-minute clip. I gotta fucking worry about, like, we could have just ended it at the 50. You don't got anything else?
I stay on my P's and Q's.
Kinda. I'm over here making noise on the mic. My nose itches. I'm fucking sweating. It's hot in here. I know. I get it. I have long sleeves on. I get it. But fuck.
You guys, we appreciate you watching with us.
It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into this. Like, first of all, you have to walk up 3 flights of stairs to get here.
And then I be tired. My knee, I'm getting old, so my knees, I be like, whew. Then, you know, who knows if I'm coming off shots or wine, you know, then I gotta, whew.
You gotta reorganize.
Yeah, you hear me? Or...
It's a lot. So I always encourage people who want to start a podcast, just do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because you see other people doing it. And absolutely not can I compete with fucking athletes that have millions of dollars who start a podcast. No, absolutely not can I compete with fucking rappers who have millions of dollars who can start a podcast. I do all this shit by myself. I edit, I record, I set up guests, I do the fucking video chats to people all on my own. Plus working a full-time fucking job. Like, no, my shit's not gonna look like what you think it should look like. No, there's no multi-camera setup here. No, it's just not that. And if you have that, doesn't mean your podcast is better than mine or better than anybody else's. A lot of y'all shit suck because you don't care about the craft of podcasting. I love this shit. That's why I got the glasses on. I had to talk some shit. But, like,
he's on his Kanye West shit
y'all
right now.
suck. But I won't say that to you, and I'm more than willing to work with you. It's basically what I'm saying.
On another side note, he's never video chat me.
We didn't?
Did not. And I don't take 10 business days.
We didn't. We really didn't? Really?
No.
I think it's because he called me.
No.
We video chatted. We really didn't?
Hey, you guys. It's time for us to go.
We really didn't video chat?
He's getting, I think the heat is going to his head. It's already been going to his head. So we're going to go ahead and...
This is the Can We Talk podcast, episode 90. It felt like the 90s a little bit. Just a little bit. But
and Juneteenth, you know, hey, power to people.
This is a great episode, guys. If you guys have any issues with anything that was said, of course, you'll comment wherever you comment, and then
don't comment to me because I'm gonna comment back.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough out for y'all, but episode was great. We just have pictures to take. and I need the AC back on ASAP. It's hot. It's at least 74 degrees in here.
And we're past 5 minutes.
You guys enjoy the rest of your night.
He doesn't want to edit this.
I don't want to, because we did a split episode before where it was like only at the 30 mark. The first one.
Oh, and then the stuff was bad or whatever. Yeah.
I didn't want to make that this one because even the last one we did, like, I turned my audio down on purpose to make sure y'all could be heard, and y'all barely could hear me. I was saying some very tough shit.
Yeah, that was a long night.
That might have been that was the latest episode ever recorded. I look back in the archives. That was the longest, not longest, the latest episode. Like, we started in one day and we ended up in another day.
And it was lit because I got them two extra podcast people to come back whenever. So
yeah, whenever. All right, this is actually the ending, guys. This is the Camera Talk Podcast, episode 90. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for listening. Goodbye, guys.